In 1999, a company called PayPal was burning through millions of dollars a month. It was fighting a competitor founded by Elon Musk. It was being targeted by Russian cyber criminals, and the man holding the whole operation together, the guy making sure it didn't collapse, was a 27-year-old South African immigrant who'd arrived in America as a 5-year-old with nothing. His name was David Sachs, and PayPal was just the beginning. David Sachs was born in Cape Town, South Africa in 1972. When he was 5, his family fled the apartheid regime and emigrated to the United States, eventually settling in Memphis, Tennessee. His father was a doctor. From the start, Sachs carried an outsider's perspective. The instinct of someone who'd already seen one world fall apart and had to build a life in another. He went to Stanford in the early 90s, where he met the person who would shape the rest of his career, Peter Thiel. The two became friends, collaborators, and even co-authored a controversial book critiquing campus politics. It was clear early on, David Sachs was not afraid of a fight. He got a law degree from the University of Chicago, but corporate law wasn't his future. In 1999, Peter Thiel called. He was building a startup with a wild idea about sending money through email. Sachs dropped everything and headed to Silicon Valley. The product was called PayPal, and it was chaos. They were hemorrhaging cash. A competitor called X.com, founded by a young Elon Musk, was trying to crush them. Russian fraudsters were draining the platform. The team was working around the clock. But this group, Thiel, Sachs, Musk after the merger, Reid Hoffman, Max Levchin, would later be dubbed the PayPal Mafia for the empire of companies they'd go on to build. Sachs became the chief operating officer. He was the one who imposed discipline on the chaos. He built the financial models, the dashboards, the systems that told them whether the company was dying or surviving. He was the one who figured out that eBay was the killer use case, that online auctions were where people actually needed to send money to strangers. That insight changed PayPal's trajectory. In 2002, PayPal went public. 5 months later, eBay bought it for $1.5 billion. Sachs was 30 years old and a multimillionaire. Most people would coast after that. Sachs went to Hollywood. He produced Thank You for Smoking, a sharp comedy about a tobacco lobbyist that premiered at Toronto, earned 2 Golden Globe nominations, and proved he could operate outside the tech bubble. But tech pulled him back. He had unfinished business. At PayPal, he'd been the operator, the guy who executed someone else's vision. He'd never built something from scratch as the founder. That changed with Yammer. The idea came from a simple frustration. He was running a small team and couldn't keep everyone on the same page. He thought, what if there was a private social network for your company, like Facebook, but for work? He launched Yammer in 2008. Within 4 years, 85% of Fortune 500 companies were using it. In 2012, Microsoft bought Yammer for $1.2 billion in cash. But Sachs wasn't done evolving. What came next took him from Silicon Valley into something much bigger. A corporate rescue mission that made national headlines, a venture capital firm that backed some of the biggest names in tech, a podcast that turned 4 friends into one of the most influential voices in American media, and ultimately, a phone call from the White House. But to hear that part of the story, the full episode is on the Lyfestori app. There's free content you can listen to right away and a free trial that gives you access to every episode in the library. About 15 minutes per story, perfect for a commute or a walk. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe. New stories every week. And drop a comment. Who's the most impressive member of the PayPal Mafia? I want to see who you pick. See you in the next one.